Hello there, this is Rocko, and welcome to the Independent Cinema Research Laboratory. Today's experiment, a brand new episode of Rocko Reviews. We have recently received word that the brilliant minds at Oscilloscope Laboratories are going to be sending us their newest experiment for us to do some research on. Today's experiment will be the films of J0L-P0Trikus, otherwise known as Joel Potrykus. Oh, it appears that the transmission, the debriefing from Oscilloscope, is coming in now. Okay, sounds good. We're on the task. We can do it. Well, no time to waste. For the sake of independent cinema research studies, I must download J0EL-P0Trikus' entire filmography into my brain, my cranium. Here goes nothing.
You gotta give me a little more room, man. You gotta give me room. Just give me the room,
Woo! What a brilliant filmography! All right, I believe that I am properly equipped to discuss the neo-realist genius of Joel Potrykus. Send through the transmission! Send through the transmission! Here he comes! Joel! Can you hear me? Joel! Joel! Ah, yes! Thank you, Joel, for joining us here on Rocko Reviews.
Yeah.
Joel, you're a pretty funny guy. I can tell from your films. Is it true that you were a stand-up comedian before making your first features?
Yes. So, that is Ape is about a stand-up comedian, and yes, I used to do stand-up comedy. But my stand-up comedy was different. There was this guy, Neil Hamburger. He would just like record fake stand-up comedy routines in a recording studio, and I just was messing around with my sampler once and put all these crowd sounds into it, like applause, laugh tracks, and I just tested and recorded some things as a Neil Hamburger tribute. If Neil Hamburger's not gonna do it, I'll do it. I'll go do this in a stand-up comedy club. Yeah, I mean, it started off as a joke. Like, I'm just gonna joke the audience into thinking they're gonna get a comedian, and they're not. And then after a while, the club owner kept wanting me to do it because it was funny, and he's like, drop the sound effects. And me being a young, impressionable stand-up comic, I was like, okay. He's like, you should go to New York and take this act. And I went to New York, and I was like, wait, what? I'm just doing stand-up comedy now. That wasn't the point. I got tricked, and I was standing out in front of the Swatch store in Times Square handing out flyers to a comedy club in December so I could earn my 5 minutes of stage time, and it's like, I woke up.
But Joel, your love for standing in front of large bodies of people as a highly intellectual wit maestro didn't end there. Now you're a professor at the Grand Valley State University, the same school you attended to learn your craft of filmmaking. Are your old professors now your peers? What is that like?
Some of my old professors are my colleagues. This whole college professor thing is just another experiment that's gone on too long, and all of a sudden now I'm looking around and I go, oh my gosh, I have an office, and I'm teaching more than one class, and I have a meeting about vision workshops. I'm just a guy that makes movies, and I'm asked to do a lot more than that, but I love some of my students, and I love their work, and I love talking about movies for a living. It's just kind of taken off from there and evolved into a full-time thing.
As a filmmaker, film professor, hybrid type specimen, you must have an interesting take on the age-old hot button question, film school versus just going out and doing it. What do you think, Joel? What's the move?
Well, obviously, yeah, you can just go out and make a movie, but the thing that I run into when people who just like go straight out of high school and pick up a camera and start trying to make a movie is that they don't know anybody to help them out. And so they're doing everything and they're frustrated and they don't understand why the movie isn't making sense. It's because they didn't learn things like the 180 rule, or you don't need to, but I think you will be vastly ahead of everybody else if you go to film school and learn how to make mistakes. I'm still collaborating, I'm still making movies with the dudes that I went to film school with. So I am pro film school, not necessary, but very much push people in that direction to do it.
So, Joel, tell us about your first feature film, Ape, and how it was accepted to the Locarno International Film Festival. That must have been pretty exciting for you as a first-time filmmaker.
So I just got lucky with that. We shot that in a summer for a couple thousand with me and the actor Josh Burge, and then we did a test screening for our friends, and Josh knew a guy named J.P. Snayadecki, and he had a film play at Locarno and was like, I know that the head programmer, they are looking for really bizarre, out there American indies, and so you should send this to him. And I said, you should send it to him. And so he said, okay, and he sent it to him, and the head of that festival, Locarno, loved it. It's not what you know, it's who you know, kind of. I mean, I made the film, but I could not have put it in his hands without JP's help. So I think sometimes it's important to reach out to people you know that have been to that festival. That is still, though, the biggest film festival experience I've ever been to. So it was the first and best, and everything from there has been downhill.
Oh, Joel, but it wasn't all downhill from there. Tell us about your journey to the top of Mount Oscilloscope.
For Oscilloscope, they didn't get involved until Buzzard, but before that I was the guy that I had sent him Ape and all my short films, and it was just like, I want to work with you guys someday. By the time I'd made Buzzard, they at least knew who I was. They knew my name. Like, they liked it, but they were trying to figure out if there was an audience for Buzzard. But then when it got into the festival called New Directors, New Films at the Lincoln Center, that's when Oscilloscope came on board, because they started to see ways to make money off of it, not just be fans of it, but to actually market this thing and have it be relevant.
Speaking of Buzzard, not only did you direct the film, but also co-starred in it. What was that like for you, and would you ever do it again?
Josh and I are friends in real life, so we needed that chemistry, and so I only did it out of necessity. Here's the glove. And yeah, I'd do it again. Again, not aspiring to act, but just aspiring to make a film better. Then sure, why not?
Well, if you ask me, Joel, it couldn't have been any other way. The chemistry was simply iconic.
Thanks. Josh is such a good actor. I was just trying to see if I could make him laugh every take.
Now, your films are known for their electric punk rock tunage. How do you pick which songs go with which scenes? And when can we expect the Potrykus mixtape?
Potrykus, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know. I love like the way, like, there's a song in Gummo when the two kids are riding their bikes down the street. That was like the first thing. I was like, wow, I feel this moment, man. I want to make this.
So Joel, when approaching Relaxer, how intentional was it to recreate Luis Buñuel's masterpiece, The Exterminating Angel?
Super intentional. Yeah, I love that movie. I just loved how simple it was and how many questions didn't get answered. And I just was like, I told my gang, I was like, we're just gonna make Exterminating Angel, but our way.
Well, Joel, something must have been in the air yesterday, because when I opened up my favorite streaming platform, the Criterion channel, on my queue lay two films side by side by total coincidence. First, The Exterminating Angel, and second, Relaxer. It's like the cosmos were trying to bring two masterpieces together for me to witness as an iconic double feature that I would never forget.
That is outrageous. I've never heard of anybody who's watched those back to back, and especially coincidentally. That's amazing. Oh, I love Criterion.
Tell us, Joel, how did the connoisseurs at the Criterion Collection come across your work for their streaming channel?
I only think I know. And I tell my students often that you gotta be nice to everybody because you don't know where that person's gonna be in 5 or 10 years. His name is Ashley, and Ashley was a film critic. And then a couple years later, all of a sudden, Ashley was running the Brooklyn Academy of Music and invited Relaxer to play there because we were friends, but he also was really liking my work and writing about it. And then a couple of years ago, Ashley got a new job curating at Criterion Channel. I think that's what happened, is that, again, it's not what you know, it's who you know and how nice you are to the people that you know. So Oscilloscope set it up with them and then just kind of casually just told me about it. And I was like, that's a crazy casual thing to just say.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. The key to Criterion is kind. Now, Joel, I've heard some pretty frightening news about your filmography. You might only be making one more feature film. Oh, Joel, say it so!
Yeah, I did always say I'm only going to do 5.
But then I wrote another one a few months ago that maybe I want to just do before we do the 5th one. I don't know. I always say the one that I most recently made is my last one. Because I do not enjoy the process of being on set. It is incredibly stressful.
I couldn't agree more, Joel. The process of making films is a miserable existence and makes me question every waking moment of my life.
Rocko, are you a filmmaker?
Oh, who, me? Oh, yes, I am a filmmaker. So kind of you to ask, Joel Potrykus.
Oh, great. Did you send that to me? What's it called?
I Need You Dead. The film is called I Need You Dead.
Oh, cool. Should have did a little more research. Okay, I see you on IMDb now. So are you into the directing thing, or is it stressful and awful for you too?
Ever since I was a child, I've wanted to be a filmmaker, and now that I am, all I want to be is a child. But that being said, when I go online and see 2 young, greasy tweens talking about my film and whether it's shit or dog shit, it validates that child's dream in a way where it flies into the world of reality, and in the end, it's all worth it. Well, Joel, thank you so much for being a part of this endless experiment that we call Rocko Reviews. It was truly a pleasure.
I survived the experiment, so anytime you survive the experiment is a good one.
Until next time, Joel, so good to have you.
Thanks, Rocko. Is my transmission still?
Bye-bye. Bye. Everybody say bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Well, that's all for today's experiment. Make sure to check out the incredible films of Joel Potrykus wherever you watch movies, and the incredibly unique catalog of films from Oscilloscope Laboratories. If you're new to Bad Taste Video, check out our feature films too, I Need You Dead and the upcoming Flapjacks. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for stopping by, and remember to keep it in bad taste. Bye-bye!
You're gonna keep it in bad taste.